So by using this secret special supply that only cost you 28 cents, if you applied this 10 times in a similar situation, you are going to save $115 in shipping fees. If this happened 100 times, you are going to save $1,150 in shipping fees. And if your business is scaled up enough and you were shipping things out like this 1,000 times a year, you just saved yourself over $11,000 in shipping fees for something that cost 28 cents a piece. Hey everyone, Dominic the Primetime Treasure Hunter here. In this video, I'm going to share with you the shipping supply that you have to have for your reselling business, but you probably don't, that can save you hundreds to thousands of dollars a year in shipping costs, depending of course on how much it is that you sell and what exactly it is that you sell. But for most sellers, this is going to apply to their business. So I'm going to show it to you through a couple of examples of items that sold in my eBay store today. I'm actually getting them packed up right now and ready to go out. And they're different types of items, but let's start off with this here. It's actually two items here that are going out to the same person. So we have two 11 by 17 art prints. Now this is Captain America and Bucky. This is Scarlet Witch. For those of you who are not familiar, I specialize in comic books and comic related collectibles, but all sorts of other vintage stuff as well. But if you like these types of prints, I do have others of them available in my eBay store. The link is down below in the description section, and I also have the link in the top right of the YouTube channel. I have one more of this left and none of these left. But these sold for a total of $87.49. So a good sale. And I got these for very, very little as part of a big estate sale pick. It was a private pick, and I just wound up picking about 100 or so of these types of prints and other ones up for a really discounted bulk price. And so, nice profit on these overall. So, but we've got to get them out together to the same buyer, and we've got to make sure that they're protected. So a couple tips along the way before I share the supply with you is that whenever you're selling multiple prints like this, you want to make sure that you face them towards one another. If you have them face up like this, that increases the chance that there's going to be surface contact with it. You want to minimize that. If anything is going to get some incidental damage to it, you want it to be the white on the back here. So I have these in a protective 11 by 17 backing board by BCW, and also an 11 by 17 bag as well. I did a whole video that you could check out on how to protect paper types of items, and I go over all sorts of bags like this and have some links down below in the description section to those. So the other thing that I suggest doing when you have multiple prints like this is to take some tape and to just secure them together. So I'm gonna line it up perfectly here, and I'm gonna put a piece of tape right here. So it just holds it together. And then I'm going to do that with the other sides as well. All right, so I've got it taped up at either end on both sides. And so I'm going to just put it on the scale right here, and I'm going to show you how much it weighs. As you can see, it's not heavy at all. It's 6.4 ounces, so well under a pound. What we want to do is we want to try to get this to go out first class mail and avoid it bumping up into priority range, because there's a big difference there in the price. At least it's going to be around $1.25 difference or so, and sometimes it could be more than that. So we want to reduce that, because if you're selling a lot of these over time like I am, that cost could just continuously add up. So what are a lot of people going to do in this situation? Most people think that they have to send everything out in a traditional box. And so the problem when you start dealing with a print size that's this big, finding a box that size can be challenging. Now they do exist, they are out there, but to get it wide enough, as you can see here, and you need a little bit of a cushioning there, this is a giant box, and these are things that are going to be expensive if you are ordering them by yourself. And if you don't want to add that expense on and you just want to hope that you're going to find things like this randomly, trust me, this type of box size is not common to find. So it's going to be tricky. And if you have things that you have to scale out, this is not going to be a practical solution. But let's just say you happen to have one of these around and you put it inside of here. And of course, you're going to want to put fill in here as well. So you're going to want to put cushioning and on all sorts of stuff to make it protected. So, but if we put this on the scale, and I'll share with you exact costs a little bit later to talk to you about the cost differences. But right here, that one right there, that is well over a pound. So 1 pound, 7.9 ounces. So here we are clearly in priority mail range. So that is not good. We don't want to have that. So what are we going to do? Well, you have to think that what is a box doing in essence? A box is encapsulating it and it's protecting it. So is there another way that we could do that? Well, we could do what I call my sandwich technique, the primetime sandwich technique. We basically make a custom box that fits to the print. And you just do that by taking something like these giant sheets that I told you are available in places like Costco or Sam's Club, those kind of big wholesale stores, and you just put the prints up like this and you cut around it. Now you can encapsulate it with a pre-made box that's designed to fit something flat. A good example would be something like this. Now this is something that is difficult to find though. You can see here that it does have an open flap right here, and we could put something like an 11 by 17 print in here, and we could get this onto the scale, and this will also come in at under a pound. It will come in right about 15 ounces, as you'll see. So is it a possible option? Yes, it is. What's the problem with it? They are difficult to come by. I only have this one, and I only have one of them because there's an occupational therapist at my workplace that gives me them every once in a while when they come by, because there are splints that she uses that come in these. And so I always tell her to save them for me. But I never see them in the grocery store or in a place like, Sam's Club or any other stores that I really go to. You could purchase them, but that's an added expense. So my point in this video is I want to give you some options that are very inexpensive, sometimes free, to deal with situations like this. So what could we do then if we don't have something like this available and we don't have something like this available, and it's just not really a viable option anyway, because it's just going to be too expensive to bump it up to that priority range. So what do we want to do? Well, what is always available that we could always get if we go to enough stores? There's always cardboard around, because stuff is always getting shipped to these stores in cardboard. There's pallets that are getting shipped to places where they need to have cardboard protection in between. So you just go back to the receiving area and ask for something like this. I talked about going to the bread area at your local grocery store. The bread boxes are usually nice and strong and sturdy. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to cut out around this. I'm going to cut out some pieces, and then I'm going to show you the supply that you need that is very inexpensive and is going to save you a ton of time and a ton of money in shipping. Okay, so as you can see here, I have got 2 pieces of cardboard cut out from that bigger piece. And what we could do with that is then center the print inside of it right here. And you could see here that I leave some margin all the way around so that if any kind of edge contact gets made during the shipping process, it winds up being protected, because you're going to put this piece right over it like this. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to take some tape and just tape it around the edges like this, nice and snug. And so there's not going to be any part of that print showing. So I'm going to tape it up real quick. I'll show you what it looks like. And then we're almost at that supply. Okay, so there you have it. We've got it taped right on the sides here. nice and snug. You just got to tightly pull it over, and there's not going to be any damage that happens to anything in the print in there in terms of any edge contact or anything like that. And you have to make sure, by the way, with this, that you are using nice, strong, sturdy cardboard, not flimsy cardboard. This stuff is really, really strong. So make sure you're feeling that out when you go to the stores and pick up this type of stuff. But we can't send it out like this because it's not going to look professional. And the other problem is that it's just easy for someone just to peel this tape right off and take whatever you have that's inside of there. So we don't want to do that. We need to have something that wraps around it. So what can we use for that? Well, you would think a poly bag, right? Hint, hint, poly bag. But what's the problem? You have poly bags sitting around, but they're just too small. They're not going to fit this thing. So you may have some bigger ones from eBay or from Amazon sitting around, but same thing. They're just going to be too small for this thing. It's just not going to work out. So what you need, this is the tip. You need the 24 by 24 inch poly mailer right here, made by a company called Medtronic. I use these all the time. They look kind of like garbage bags. That's pretty much what they look like. But these things are amazing because they have such a wide, flexible opening that the print goes in here nice and flat like this. And it's so thin and so light that it adds almost no additional weight to it. So what I just do is I just kind of lay it flush like this against the back of it. You know, just kind of make it nice and snug. And then I'll just pull this over like this, just kind of tighten it up. And then I'll just trim a little bit of excess off like this, and I'll tape the flaps over. Then we'll put it on the scale, and I'll show you how much it weighs. Okay, so here you can see it is all packed up, taped up, ready to go. I've got do not bend on this side and on the other side. I even have the address label on it as well. I'm gonna put it here on the scale, and you can see here it comes in at about 14.6, 14.7 ounces. So it's well under a pound, and this is going to ship out first class mail. So to get it from New York to New Jersey, this is going to cost me $5.08. This is assuming you're printing it out on the eBay label system, not taking it into the post office, because if you print it out through eBay, you could ship out first class up to 16 ounces. People who are new, some people don't know that. So that's important to keep in mind. But if this was to go over a pound, yet under 2 pounds, so if we shipped it out in something like this box that I showed you earlier, that's going to come to a total of $7.60. So that's a difference of $2.52. So if you ship out 100 things like this during the year, which is totally within the realm of what I would do, that's a savings of $252. If you're scaled up a bit more and you're shipping out 1,000 things like this, now you're talking about a savings of about $2,500. So how much did it cost to get that saving? Well, these bags come in a lot of 100, a package of 100. For right now, the cost is $27.99. So we're talking 28 cents per bag to get that kind of savings. So if you're interested in these bags, I do have them linked down below in the description section. They are an affiliate link of mine, so I do get a little bit of a commission, but I use these religiously throughout the year. They save me a ton of money. Now, if you're saying to yourself, well, you know what, it's not really that realistic that I'm gonna ship out 100 of these things or 1,000 of these things, and you know, it seems like a pretty specific situation. Let me hear a little bit more. All right, so let me give you another example. Let's say instead of something light like this, let's even get out of first class mail. Let's stick with priority mail. Okay, so let's say that we have a thick, heavy metal sign that weighs 5 pounds and 1 ounce, and it's about 14 by 11 inches, as you can see these dimensions here. I'm just throwing out a different type of object and a different type of dimension just to show you that this works with different ranges and different types of things. So this is going to cost, if we're going to ship it out from New York, let's plug in like another area. I already did all this stuff earlier, so you know these numbers are accurate. From New York to Colorado. So let's go beyond New Jersey. We'll go over to the Midwest. This is going to cost me $20.81. So assume for sake of argument, by the way, that you're not getting any kind of significant savings by using parcel post, which is often the case. Sometimes parcel post even costs more. Let's also assume for sake of argument that it's just too thick. You can't fit it in any kind of flat rate priority mail or anything like that. So by printing it out through eBay's labels, you're paying according to what the weight is, according to what the dimensions are, and according to the geographical location that it's going to. But this is why it is very helpful to use something like box in a bag shipping through Pirate Ship. I did a video on this a while ago. I'll link to it also at the end if you want to see it. But what you could do in this type of situation is you could take this and you could slide this within the bag and you could ship it out through what's called the box in a bag method. So it technically would be a box because I'm going to assume for sake of argument that what you did is you did a boxing of it, and this is like your own little internal box that you made, and then you put it inside the bag. Now, you have to make sure you follow the rules of Pirate Ship, so you're going to have to trim the bag down and use those dimensions as the ones that you plug in, because after all, I just gave you an example of a 14 by 11, so you don't need to plug in 24 by 24. You could always just cut that dimension down a bit. But this gives you a nice, like I said, a nice opening here to slide it in really easily. And when you do that, and then you go and you plug in the dimensions for what's called cubic rate shipping. So again, this is done through Pirate Ship. The total cost is going to be $9.22. So that is a savings of $11.59. That's a gigantic savings for a supply that only cost you 28 cents. So by using this secret special supply that only cost you 28 cents, if you applied this 10 times in a similar situation, you are going to save $115 in shipping fees. If this happened 100 times, you are going to save $1,150 in shipping fees. And if your business is scaled up enough and you were shipping things out like this 1,000 times a year, you just saved yourself over $11,000 in shipping fees for something that cost 28 cents a piece. All right, I know some of you are watching this and you're saying, well, that's great prime time, but I don't really sell anything and ship stuff out that's flat like that. So is there any way that I could ship out non-flat items and still save a significant amount of money using these 28-cent bags? Yes, there is. Let me show you a very common example, which would be shipping out plush items. I'll show you a sale that I just made today that I have to pack up, and I'm going to be using this exact process. So you might remember that I picked up some Minecraft plushes. This is an iron golem. It's 14 inches. That went along with a ghast. So you could see this here. This is 14 inches as well. And then there was a creeper that I picked up. And what is going on? That's not a creeper. You were supposed to hand me the creeper. He's always trying to find a way to get out of work and to sneak in these videos somehow. Oh boy. All right, you sit up here for now, okay? And you could supervise and produce, help with the production of the rest of the video, okay? Anyway, the creeper, which Pink Panther was supposed to hand over to me right here, supposed to get him ready. This guy right here, 7 inches tall, went in with these two and sold for a total today of $34.99. So $35. I wound up picking these up in a lot with a bunch of other things for around $1. It was barely anything. So now we've got to ship them out, and they are pretty bulky, right? Because they're 14 inches. This guy here is pretty thick over here. So what are we going to do with them? Now, some people, especially people who are new, are going to take this and they're going to put it inside of a box. So to get these inside of a box, you need a pretty big box, right? So we've got a box right here. I'm going to put the scale on because we're going to get these right inside of the box here. And some people are going to put some fill and stuff right there. But there we go. We've got them right inside the box. Let's put them up on the scale and let's see what it comes out to in terms of weight. Well, that's 2 pounds, 6.5 ounces. So now we're in the 2 to 3 pound priority range. That's going to cost us more compared to if we could get it in the 1 to 2 pound priority range. Getting it in the first class range is impossible. That's totally out of the picture because just one gast alone is going to put us at 10 ounces. So once we factor the other ones, that's going to tip it way over 16 ounces. So we can't do that. So our best chance at a savings is to make sure we keep it in the 1 to 2 pound range. Well, that cardboard, that's a lot of bulk and that's a lot of added weight compared to this 28-cent bag that's as light as a feather. And all you have to do with Plushes is just put them right inside the bag like this. You really don't have to do anything extra in terms of preparing them. If you want to, you can wrap them in bubble wrap. Once in a while, I'll do that if there's anything delicate to it, like if there's a tag on it that I don't want to get damaged. And also if there's like plastic eyes, like something like really that could potentially get chipped during travel, then you want to put some bubble wrap on the outside of that and protect it. But generally speaking, you could just put these inside of here. And so then, as you could see, when we put this on top of the scale, we are going to get a lighter weight, of course. And what is the weight that we're going to get? We have a weight that is at 1 pound and 8 ounces. So what is the cost savings involved in that? Well, let me get up to the scale. I'll plug in the values and I'll tell you in one moment. Okay, so if the Plushes would have shipped out in this box at that 2 pound range, so 2 pounds, 6.5 ounces, it would have cost $13.09 to go from New York to Colorado. But because we are shipping it out in this 28-cent bag, it winds up costing only $10.22. So that is a savings of $2.87. It's an interesting number in terms of savings because the 2 and the 8 remind me of the 28 cents for the bag. So by investing that 28 cents, that allows you to make some significant savings. Make that savings 10 times and you've got a total of $29. Make that saving 100 times, and it doesn't even have to be within a year. It could be even over a couple of years. Still, all this adds up. That's $287, almost $300 in savings. If this is some type of thing that you're shipping out regularly, you do a lot of Plush and you've been shipping them out in boxes, shift over to that 24 by 24 bag, because that would be, let's say you did 1,000 of those types of sales, that's $2,800 and such. So, I mean, almost $3,000 worth of savings. I gave you 3 different examples, but I can't go over every possible example. You'll just have to apply them to your business and play with the numbers and the different types of weights. But this just goes to show how important it is to do these types of things. I am not working for this company at all in terms of they didn't hire me or ask me to do this video or anything like this. I'm doing it purely because this is something that I found that helps me. Yes, I do make a little affiliate commission if you decide to purchase something through my link, but of course you could go outside of that and purchase it, just by doing a search on Amazon. All I would ask is that if you find this video helpful, to make sure that you subscribe to the channel. That's really, really important. I'm really trying to get that point across to people that if you're watching the videos and getting something out of it, one of the best things you could do to help out fellow creators, not just me, but others as well, is to subscribe to their channels. Hit the like button if you enjoyed it. Make sure you pass this on to other people because, this could really help a lot of people save money. Remember, right down in the description section is where all the links are, not only to this supply, but also to a lot of other shipping supplies that I found helpful. If you want to see other shipping tips, other ways to save money, other ways to ship things out that could help protect them, go to my playlist section because you will see a whole bunch of videos all about shipping. In fact, my #1 video that I ever did with like 75,000 views or something like that, it is all about the padded flat rate shipping envelope and how much money you could save with that. So with that being said, I'm going to wrap up for here. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video. And lastly, as I always say, make sure you come over to my Facebook group, the Facebook Reselling Resource Center, and my Instagram account. I got a lot of stuff going on there right now. That's @prime_time_treasure. I'll see you back at the next video, everyone. Take care. So this box definitely, what